Good evening, welcome, and nice to be back after a day off yesterday. It's Tuesday and it's the 2nd of June, and of course, it's BOBCAST. So I wasn't here yesterday, and I think those of you who know me, who follow me on Facebook, and I want to say on all those other places, but I don't do anything else, just Facebook. Well, I do have an Instagram account, I do have a Twitter account, I do tweet occasionally, but I only tend to tweet when I'm spoken to. And So, those of you who know me know that I very rarely go anywhere near politics at all. I always try to take a via media, the middle of the road. Gosh, do you remember middle of the road? Where's your mama gone? Where's your mama gone? Dee dee. Chirpy, chirpy, cheep, cheep. That's a song I must remember not to play when I get back on the radio on a Wednesday night. When we're saying this, yes, those of you who know me know that I don't really do politics at all, particularly on Facebook and things like that. But I am a political animal. I have really strong political views, but I try not to let anyone know what they are, including myself when I'm trying to work out who to vote for. However, I just felt really quite strongly after seeing some of the things about George Floyd and his death that Blackout Tuesday is something I should respect and follow. So I did. And that actually really just got me going because I decided I didn't know enough about it. So I Googled it, went on YouTube, saw quite a lot of footage of what had happened, and also saw footage of politicians in America and other places speaking about what had happened, some of the decisions that were being made, the protests, and I watched some of them live. I was up far too late last night, till half 12, quarter to 1, I suspect, watching some of these protests in America, and they've been around the UK today. And just say I'm just so sad, and my heart goes out to everybody who's involved and has been affected by that. And people should not suffer abuse because of the colour of their skin, their creed, their colour, their sexuality, their ability, or any other state of what they are and who they are. So I just hope that I know you won't. But anyhow, that's my vaguely political point, but actually it's a really important one because here we have Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit coming up next week. Pentecost last week, where everybody heard the good news in their own language, and it's for everybody. It's not just for those and such as those. If you're going to hold a Bible, then open it and practice it as well. Right, pass me another soapbox because this one's broken. I was interested to see in the news today that studies have shown that cows will produce more milk when the farmer talks to them. I think that's really interesting. Yes, it's a case of in one ear and out the other. But people used to talk about talking to plants and things like that. Now then, talking of talking, this song was the B-side of I can't remember the singer. The song was the B-side of a well-known song. And it's I talk to the trees, but they don't listen to me. I talk to the sunshine, but it doesn't hear me. So that was the B-side. This is a pop master. What was the A-side? What was the A-side? I'll tell you after this joke. I went for an interview at IKEA today. Because it's opened again, so we socially distanced for the interview. The manager greeted me by saying, "Come in, sit down, make a seat." And I just couldn't knock it all together. But as I came out of IKEA, IKEA is like so many of these other shops. They're in a sort of industrial estate with a lot of other great big stores as well. I was hungry, so I thought I'll nip in for I nipped into Curry's, and there wasn't anything there. I thought I saw my nan, but she hadn't got any bread. So I thought, well, that's a bit of a biryani. I said to my friend, "Come on," and there we go. He gave me a quick kick up the madras, and now I'm pilafed. But that's not a rice joke to say, is it? So don't get into any form of argy-bargy with me, please, mushroom or otherwise. Right, what you going to pack? Oh, I'm going to pack Aura. Oh, I love pakora. Absolutely love pakora. Anyhow, when I was in Curry's, I could have been in other shops as well, of course. I should have gone to our local shop, to Stewart's, and support our local people. And so I was at Curry's, had a look, and then came to Stewart's and bought it. I actually bought my friend a refrigerator for their birthday. I can't wait to see his face light up when he opens it. That was a long way to get to a pretty appalling joke, wasn't it? But there we go. There we go. Gosh, my wife screamed at me, "You haven't listened to a single word I've said, have you?" And I thought, what a weird way to start a conversation. So there we are. Am I going to give you? Well, I'm going to catch up with one or two of the misprints in church magazines, because they are going down well. I'm not going to do a poem today. I'm going to do some more limericks, I think. But where are we? Remember in prayer the many who are sick in our church and our community. Don't let worry kill you off. Let the church help. Absolutely, quite right too. The audience is asked, or the congregation is asked, to remain in pews to the end of the recession. Audience recital. Nah, some of these are better when you see them written down. There's a few choir ones, and I need to say now that I couldn't have a better choir than the one I have at the moment, or ones that I've had in the past in the churches I've been associated with. All my choir are wonderful. But it says here the choir invites any member of the congregation who enjoys sinning to come and join them. Sin something simple. Oh, talking of singing, I Talked to the Trees was the B-side, and the A-side was I Was Born Under a Wandering Star. I was born under a wandering star. Do I know where Liz till is in Boulogne, and etc. from the great film Paint Your Wagon. Who sang it? I can't remember, because I didn't know I was going to do this and get on this line of conversation before I even started it. It's called Doing It on the Hoof, as the jockey said, as he got his new job. Okay, so if I was going to do a limerick or two, here's an interesting one. This was written by Michael Palin. You know Michael Palin? Yep, and does so many different travel things, and of course part of Monty Python's Flying Circus, which was originally going to be called John Cleese Circus, but they didn't want to do that, so the group of them came up with the name Python, and Eric Idle christened Monty. One of those stupid facts I just happen to know. So Michael Palin wrote this limerick. A vicar from Esher called Hughes used to greatly enjoy a quick snooze at lunchtime or tea if the pulpit was free, and if not, he'd kip in the pews. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? Quite funny. Quite amusing in its own way. So someone sent me a link to a little thing called Bob's Little Book of Limericks. I'm presuming they haven't made these specially for me. No, they're by a guy called Robert F. Beck. And here we go. There was a young builder called Bob. I tell you, it really annoys me. Bob the Builder, really, really. Can I do it? Yes, I can. Do I like it? No, I don't. And I remember school kids used to shout, "Ah, Bob the Builder." I used to think, if you knew what I was thinking I was going to call you, you wouldn't be calling me that. Urgh. Anyhow, there was a young builder called Bob who mislaid his tape on a job. Brickies said, "What a fool, he's lost his best tool. Now his buildings are looking quite odd." Like that. I have to tell you, by the way, I'm reading these blind. Well, I'm not reading these blind. Actually, I read a book in Braille last week. I feel the last chapter is really good. So I'm reading these blinds, so if they do go a bit strange, there we are. There once was a baker called Joe who took a great pride in his dough. Then he forgot all the yeast, and instead of a feast, his bread turned out terribly low. Ah, yeah, very nice. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. I can cope with that, I think. No problem whatsoever at all. Right, it's been raining, so I haven't been out as much. I have to say though, my neighbours listen to really, really good music, whether they like it or not, actually. So, so the rain's coming on, so it's changing everything about lockdown, isn't it? And just changing the way we're going to be socially distancing. And I notice Boris, earpiece or not, was saying, "Do not go out, do not socialise inside if it rains." So we need to stick with that. Right, I think I'm probably coming to the end of it. It seems a bit strange. I got lost, sort of thrown out of the rhythm not doing Bobcast last night, but I felt it was so important, and equality for all is important. So I hope that you haven't been abused because of who you are, what you look like, your belief or your non-belief, your political views or anything else. And if you have, then say something about it. Stand up. Me too. Stand up for it, because we're all allowed to have our views as long as they don't harm anybody else or cause harm to anybody else. Then that's fine. And we do need to stand up for what's wrong. We do need to stand up when things are done wrong, and stand up and be counted. And that, I think, is very important. So if you've been affected by anything that we've talked about tonight, then please, please, please talk to someone about it. If you're stuck, give me a ring. But if something has affected you, and you are thinking, or the things that have been on the news has affected you, and I see they've got a new suspect, they're trying to find a new suspect in the Madeleine McCann case. So if something like that affects you, then talk about it. Don't bottle it up, particularly during this period of lockdown. Because, we tend to hold things in and focus. We don't have the people to talk about it with. So get on the old dog and bone. Give somebody a ring. So, watch thou, dear Lord, with those who wake or watch or weep or worry tonight. And give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend your sick ones, Lord Christ. Rest your weary ones and bless your dying ones. Soothe your suffering ones. Pity your afflicted ones. Shield your joyous ones. And all for your love's sake. Amen. Oh, looking at the news, I see a locksmith had to testify in court today. Yes, he was the prosecution's key witness. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, day before Friday. And I hope all is good. Take care. Love you lots. God bless. Bye.